Morning, Daily Rip crew. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another week. I hope everybody enjoyed the weekend. Got some time away from the charts, but now we're back, baby. We're back and we got a busy week going on. We got a little bit of earnings kind of kicking off Friday. It's really kicking off the next few weeks, but we got a bunch of data this week coming out. So I think it's going to be plenty volatile, plenty of fun. Market's ripping right now. So plenty of movement going on right now. Shy, how we feeling about the week and getting things going for the Monday?
So this morning literally felt like I was a fat kid at a candy shop, a candy store,
All
where
the
the amount,
news. Yeah.
all the analyst notes we got, like we clearly you can tell that analysts just went off their desk, took the month of December off, and then came back just with all their updates, and it was it was entertaining. Like a lot of my stocks were on the best ideas list for 2025, which was really nice to see. And they're catching major bids this morning, but it's just not my stocks. Everything's catching major bids because Foxconn had a record Q4 earnings, but specifically December's revenue was up 42% year over year. That is like there's a chain effect that occurs when Foxconn does really well to Apple, to Nvidia, then to the semiconductors, then to tech. Like it's essentially one of those like linchpins of this whole space that if that does well, it's going to trickle along. And that's where you're seeing QQQ up 1.3%. This is following up a really strong Friday. So again, it's really interesting. We're in a brand new year. This pullback we saw at the end of last year and a little in the beginning of this year, it's kind of having that same kind of V-shaped recovery vibes that we've experienced the past 2 years. And every single time, like the SPY was like hovering around that 21-week EMA level that I was calling out. Like that's the one characteristic of this rally. Every time it touches that, it's V-shaped. We were like less than 1% away from that, but you're seeing that characteristic come to play in 2025 where it's V-shaping again. And I wouldn't be surprised with Nvidia hitting near close to all-time highs. Like the market's probably going to revert if this holds and it maintains like the velocity of this. Like I could see the market potentially retesting those previous highs ahead of the earnings season or ahead of the inauguration in 2 weeks. And if that's the case, I think that's breaking new all-time highs in the month of January bodes really well for what the rest of the year is going to be like in the market.
Yeah, I mean, even if we were gonna turn around, I would love to see one last little test of those highs. You know what I mean? That would be great. And I think the market would need it for a real turnaround. But either way, yeah, fun stuff this morning. Let's move on and get into the daily rip and just recap kind of what happened over the weekend and over last week. On Monday last week, stocks opened on the short trading week with another down day. Natural gas prices were soaring. We talked about that a little bit on the forecast for cold temperatures. Speculation amid small caps continued. And Daily Rip live hosts analyzed the busted Santa Claus rally. Of course, we gave you guys the rundown on what happened with that. For Tuesday, small caps were the sole green spot for the final trading day of 2024. Every sector closed green for the year, but the Mag 7 stocks were the clear standout. Meanwhile, Baird Medical Investment Holdings was the latest nano cap stock to go nuclear. Didn't know that. Shai, did you catch that from last week? I
No,
did not know that. Interesting.
no.
Wednesday, things were closed for New Year's, of course. Thursday, stocks started the year on a marginally red note. Tesla sunk after its delivery numbers. We all kind of watched that live on the show. That was wild there with the numbers. A lot of downside from that. But I recall, I think, didn't we get bought up in the end of the day? I forget exactly. I don't remember. But I think
We
we
did.
got bought up
I
towards the
think
end
we
of the day.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting there. Carvana became the latest Hindenburg research target. God, I wish I flipped my thesis when I was shorting Carvana at $70, man. I would have added a good price. But yeah, we had Larry Thompson on as well to discuss top trades for 2025. And then Friday, stocks bounced back. Really strong day, and we're seeing kind of continuation of that into this morning with the futures of last night as well. Just things continuing to the upside, hitting a bunch of levels that we made from last week. So I'm interested to see what happens this week. It should be volatile. You know, we got some data coming out, but it should be fun. Any thoughts from this and the recap last week, Shy?
I mean, I think we bounced where we kind of had to, and we're
Yeah.
continuing this week. I really think I still believe that big tech isn't really where you want to be. However, if we get news like over the weekend, we didn't cover this yet, but like Sam Altman in a blog post said he thinks that he can create AGI agents in 2025, and if AGI is just around the corner, not a sci-fi dream, that's going to be hyper bullish for big tech. So if that narrative starts coming to play, my thesis is absolutely wrong in January for large cap tech sell off, and there's going to be like that appetite for which big tech company will benefit from this AGI shift. Other than that, as well, Carvana, like I was wrong by Carvana. I didn't think their business model was going to allow them to have
No,
these
I hated the company. I
EBITDA
mean, I still don't
margins.
love it, but they're doing very well now. I mean, they turn things
But
around.
that short report though was alarming. Like I know it brought up a lot of points from the previous short report, but I I've been in corporate strategy for close to a decade. Like there is a lot of financial engineering that is happening under the hood on Carvana's books that I just don't know enough about the industry to like call bullshit. But it doesn't really pass my sniff test. Like something is a little off with how they were recognizing margins and profit. So I think I'm still somewhat correct that I just don't see the longevity of their business model, and I was proven wrong in their numbers. However, if their numbers are elevated in a financial engineering way that doesn't really isn't really correct, that's alarming, and there could be a massive headwind narrative, like similar effect to SMCI, if it gets to that point where you see government institutions investigating into Carvana, which we haven't gotten yet. But if that is the case, there could be a lot more downside.
100%. Moving on to some bullet points from the weekend here. Generative AI funding soared to new heights in 2024. AI companies around the globe raised $56 billion from 885 deals with VCs, making the raw cash total a new record for the segment. It's up 192% from 2023 when $29.1 billion was invested across 691 deals. Geez. Any thoughts on that, Shine? Just how the increase on that? I mean, it makes sense, obviously, with the AI run we've had over the past year, right? But I mean, those are huge numbers. Any like thoughts from that?
I mean, we're in the fourth industrial revolution. Like this, it's not like a blimp that's going to happen in 1 or 2 years. Like this is a structural change in every enterprise and consumer's lives for the rest of humanity. Like this isn't just like a, oh, this is a really interesting like cloud was revolutionary, but wasn't like AI. Cloud didn't really affect as much to consumers' lives, efficiency, optimization. Like it's this is like truly a revolutionary theme that's only beginning and it's very sticky and it's going to consistently go and go. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Microsoft, for example, I think they announced like last week, end of last week or over the weekend, where they're expecting to spend $80 billion this upcoming fiscal year for them on AI, on data center just alone. That's nearly 2x what it was the previous year. So this anticipation that AI spend was going to pause or start diminishing was violently offsides. The party's still going really strong. And the AI is here to stay and it's only going to incrementally increase the appetite from enterprises and consumers. And that's going to correlate with an increased amount of dollars being spent across the board because you cannot afford to underinvest in AI. Much rather overspend, overinvest. Just make sure you have all the tools necessary to dictate future initiatives. And right now, you're just seeing that. Like it's a golden era, to be honest, for tech right now. It's across the board because fiscal responsibility is not at play right now. It's just getting as much as possible, many tools as possible, and see where it goes in the future. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some even more eye-popping numbers like this summer or next quarter. Like this is only ramping up speed, and I think every analyst out there, whatever ceiling they put on AI, I really think you have to times that by five. Like this is a once in a lifetime thematic that's only picking up steam.
100%. We got DraftKings testing a new subscription service, the Sportsbook Plus, which launched quietly on December 28th for select customers in New York. It's designed to provide paying customers a boost in odds. It offers participants up to 100% profit boost on winning parlays. Shy, you love that? Or wait, you can't take advantage of that, can you, being in California?
No, I can't.
Oh,
But
that's so lame.
I
Gosh.
can also same with you, Jordan.
Yeah,
We-
I'm not like a big sports better though, you know what I mean? So I'm not even in the world really, but I know you are, so I'm like thinking about you. I'm like, dang, you can't even take
No,
advantage
I
of
mean
that.
I do have
Sucks.
a bookie from my Calabasas days that I used to use. I don't use anymore because I'm just for that money I have to bet to like make it exciting for me. It's just what isn't worth the risk and reward anymore. So, um, I dude, for DraftKings specifically, like I'm one of the bears out there where I think their business is an absolute commodity. It's very similar to,
Well, you've said it
s-
before. It's just people are going to go to whoever they can get the best deal with, right? That
but
they're not married to the company at all.
100%. But if the subscription business is enticing because those degenerates, they're looking for change in the couch whenever they're like on a tilt or have $0. Like this is a way of like, oh, I can get 10% more, or I can get like a little discount if I go through stay in DraftKings. Do believe the subscription service is going to get replicated across the board. It's gonna be very similar, where like now they like what streaming was like stream. There's so many subscriptions across streaming for everything for entertainment. There's going to be the same thing for gambling websites and
Yeah.
gambling apps. So I think this is an interesting band aid. I still think the bear thesis is there though, that once the sports gambling or gambling in general becomes federally legal, it's going to open the floodgate for all the bigger whales, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, to get into that space because they already are showing signs of what they want in live sports packages.
Yeah, and if they're
It's
stepping in, I don't want anything to do with
exactly. It's
DraftKings.
just, their margins are going to just erode
Yeah.
long term. So like, I think
Because
it's
people trust Netflix a lot more than they trust DraftKings,
totally
or you know what I mean. So
in this subscription model. You don't think Amazon would just say, oh, if you have Prime, we'll give you a 10% boost. Like I go to Whole Foods all the time. I get an extra 10% discount if I'm a Amazon Prime member on any kind of sale on Whole Foods. Whole Foods. It's gonna be the same thing on a betting subscription business. Like that's why ecosystems are so powerful and such defensible moats, because it allows you to have somewhat of a pricing power control that your competitors have no chance of competing with. That's one of the reasons I'm so bearish on Hims and Her Health as well. Like I think like in this capitalistic world we're in, the bigger players are getting more and more dominant. These smaller middle players like the DraftKings, the Hims and Hers Health, like they have a mountain to climb to maintain pricing power competitiveness, and it's going to come at the price of their margins, and it's going to be a massive narrative for them eventually. It's not hitting right now, but it's going to be a tsunami that's going to hit these kind of names because of the ecosystem the major players have built.
100%. Legal filings become to latest PR communications tool. Filing a legal complaint is rapidly becoming the self-publishing option of choice for individuals looking to make a splash in the court of public opinion, regardless of whether a judge finds in their favor or not. Steadily declining trust in media has caused many to opt for the dry but clearly templated legal format to get their message across. Actress Blake Lively's war of legal filings with co-star Justin Baldoni is the latest example of this media method being used to change the public's perception of you on topic. Interesting stuff there. Any thoughts from that, Shy?
Uh, I
I thought
mean,
it
I
was
don't know.
funny.
I've heard stories of Blake Lively. I mean, I used to work in entertainment space, and I've lived in LA my whole life.
Oh, does Shy know
So
the secrets?
I don't know the secrets, but I've heard that Blake Lively
It's
isn't
looking
as
for a
nice as
juicy
she
story,
perceives.
man.
No, I don't know. It's just weird. I think this is just I ended up honestly, this is great PR for the movie because I'm not the demo for that movie. It ends with us, but I gave it a try. I stopped watching after 15 minutes, but I was like, let me see
Give it a
what this is
shot.
about. Yeah, give it a shot. So it's good PR for the business, awful PR for Blake Lively, especially Justin Baldoni. Like this is like not a type of situation where all PR is good PR type of thing. This is very negative, and the entertainment industry is very not closed minded, but they have an elephant memory of like, oh, you are kind of on the in the doghouse right now. We're not going to risk this IP associating your name in it, so we're going to wait till you deal with that. And I think both these individuals are kind of in that doghouse. A very similar boat as Amber Heard was like with Johnny Depp like a
Yeah,
couple
that
years
kind
ago.
of. Mm-hmm.
She's not in anything anymore. It's going to be
Yeah.
very it's a brutal business, and I think Blake Lively is awesome, like her work. I hope she doesn't follow the Amber Heard route, but it looks like it might be just because of this mess with Justin.
I kind of hope she does because it might be entertaining. Jokes, jokes. Crypto markets heating back up. All right, let me take a look at Bitcoin. I haven't really looked at Bitcoin yet. But let's take a look. Oh, coming back to that 100K. Just we're still in this consolidation period. We are getting a nice bounce from those lows around that 92K. So I like to see that, but we're just stuck in this consolidation period for Bitcoin at the moment. So I'd like to see some real momentum continue. off of these lows if we can get it. But until I really see that and we're breaking highs and really, changing the structure that we've made in this consolidation, I just think we're gonna keep going sideways. But we are testing these Thursday, Wednesday highs from last week, or was that last week? No, 2 weeks ago. So if we can break over those and get some momentum back towards the highs, I'd love to see that, and I'd be a little more optimistic, I guess, about this. But it's not that I'm not optimistic. It's just we're going sideways. It needs to breathe, and it's been breathing. And until I see real momentum, I'm not gonna really think anything of this. But yeah, nice to see things moving back up. Any thoughts on Bitcoin, Shy? Where we're
I
at right
mean,
now?
Bitcoin is honestly the perfect barometer on the risk on environment appetite for equity markets. It's crazy how it's transformed into that. Like it used to be like one of the riskier assets.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a great barometer. Like, and that's why I felt somewhat confident. Even though like I thought there was gonna be a January pullback in the market, seeing how much Bitcoin was steady in the low 90s, mid 90s, like it wasn't gapping down towards that gap fill from the 70 mid 70 range or $80,000. Like it was holding steady. Seeing that, I was like, oh, I think maybe there's going to be somewhat of a bounce in the equity market because that is a perfect barometer on risk assets like tech, growth tech, quantum space, etc. So I do think that that's how I'm using Bitcoin and associated with the US dollar. The US dollar needs to give out a bit. It is showing a lot of strength, and that is something that's going to cause a massive currency headwind for across the board in the upcoming earnings cycle where there's going to be revisions downward, or maybe just estimates are going to be in line because of this currency headwind big tech companies. And that's, I think Kevin mentioned this. Kevin Green, great account for everyone to check out on X. He mentioned on Spaces last week like that could be the boogeyman of this upcoming earnings cycle, and I agree with that. Like that could be the weird wonkiness that's might happen this upcoming earnings cycle, where it won't feel like a clean beat across the board. That's going to continue this market rally upward. It's going to be somewhat of noise.
Did you just see that move down, by the way, on the market?
No, what happened? What
Holy, I
just
don't.
happened?
Fed Cook is speaking.
See, this is what I'm worried about. I really hope we don't
Ragged.
give up this. If we go from green to red, that's a no bueno. That's
I
like
love this.
that's not good.
Oh, it's okay, Shy. It's okay. We'll make it
Damn, I
out
was doing so
alive.
well. My portfolio was like up 3% pre-market. It was
Oh,
so
that's
nice.
so funny. Coinbase, I love seeing this chart because I'm personally looking for some potential swing trades on Coinbase, but getting some nice bounces from those range lows that we made. I'd like to see us really clear these what have been December 26th, December 24th highs right there. If we can really get strength over that, get back over that 300, I'd really be liking Coinbase a lot more. We got that nasty move down outside of that consolidation. But to me, I think it was just to take price lower, um, so they could get it a little bit lower under that 300 bucks, and looking strong now. So I would like to see continuation on Coinbase. You see the chart right here. We getting back over that trend line, and as long as we can hold that, things are looking better. So I would like to see that hold, get some more momentum going. You see, we talked about Bitcoin a little bit and how that's kind of steadily trying to get back over that 100K and just consolidate in a healthy manner. So as long as that's looking good and we get some more momentum there, I definitely expect Coinbase to do well. And I'll be watching it for trades over the next week for sure. Obviously, getting some downside though in pre-market with this move in the market, so got to keep an eye on it. Any thoughts on Coinbase though, Shy?
I still don't
I know
see
you
the
don't trade it much. Yeah,
I don't see the long-term bull case in
yeah,
Coinbase just because commissions is a race to the bottom. It's eventually they're gonna have to cut
yep.
that off, and I think blockchain really needs to take off in order for Coinbase to really like I don't know find that mode. In my opinion, I still think blockchain is looking for a problem. Like it's a really interesting technology. It's a really interesting solution, but I think it's still looking to solve. There's no problem for that solution yet. I just don't see it right now. Like I think it's I don't think blockchain is going to innovate more. And if it's not accelerating the appetite for solving a problem right now, I don't know if that's going to be the case going forward. So that's my
Yeah.
biggest issue on Coinbase, blockchain. But this is a good sympathy play on crypto as a general. Like if you think crypto is going to go up, Bitcoin's going to hit 150, Coinbase is going to hit 400 to 500 bucks. Like that's it's like a 2x Bitcoin move ETF in my opinion because they make money on volatility and transactions. And if Bitcoin hits 150, 200 this year, like that's going to provide volatility, and that's going to be a really good scenario for like Coinbase and Robinhood. I'd much rather have Robinhood over Coinbase. It's like they used to be 1A, 1B. I think it was this time last year. Now it's clearly Robinhood's the tier one and Coinbase is the tier two play for this like crypto thematic sympathy play.
100%. I get you. AMD starting to break out. Obviously, we saw a lot of weakness with AMD over, the last leg of 2024 there, but definitely getting some bounces back. It looks like there might be some buyers at the bottom of this range. It's just tough. We need to see some real structure forming, which it's trying. It's trying. We do have a higher low in the market finally after making lower lows and lower lows. I'd like to see some real higher highs being made, which you do see in pre-market. We're getting over that December 24th high, which is like the range high at the moment on the daily. But, I'd like to see a strong close over that, some continuation really over that, and, really see a bit of a market structure shift here rather than just, a higher low that gets made, because that can get taken out pretty quickly if we're not consistently, making higher highs as well with it. So obviously AMD getting some big moves is a big name that we all love to trade, but I'm still, I guess, a little cautious with it. I don't own it anymore, so there's that.
I,
Any thoughts from you though?
I am like this is a show it year for AMD. I really think if they don't show it like this year, I think it's going to be just a dud. I don't think it's going to be like an Intel dud, obviously, because I think that they're placing like the endpoints or like laptops, etc. Like is really like that's where their niche is. I just think that the narrative, like that's an alternative solution to Nvidia. I think that's not an accurate narrative. There's already alternative solutions. You're already seeing hyperscalers create their own custom chips with the help of Broadcom and Marvell. Like you're just seeing like there's so many alternatives now coming along with Nvidia's chips have to offer. It's not just AMD anymore. So that's not a good enough narrative to buy AMD. However, AMD is undervalued right now. If they can somewhat come up with a moat around their chips, the only way I can view them of coming up with a moat is increasing or enhancing their software exposure around their chips. Because right now, the only way you can really selling hardware isn't good enough anymore. You have to be able to build an ecosystem around their hardware. And the reason Nvidia is so successful is their CUDA platform is like chef's kiss to developers. It is incredible. So they have already enhanced GPU hardware. They're building this ecosystem that's becoming a defensible moat for them. AMD doesn't have that. Their software is underwhelming, and them spending those billions of dollars on that server company ZT Systems was an absolute mistake, in my opinion. But it helped them sell the narrative of an ecosystem around their hardware. I think that's a wrong area to invest that capital in. They should have invested in their software. And right now, their software is an open source solution that's just like underwhelming. That's what they have to focus on. And if they can solve that, this is going to be a massive mover. Massive. Jury's still out though if they can enhance that software offering. So that's what I would be looking at. But either way, AMD could be one of those in that bucket of bounce back candidate of January because it was one of those tax loss harvesting candidates.
Yeah, it did get beat up a lot, and there might be
It was,
some
yeah,
people that
like
want to buy that back.
like Transmedics, Mercado Libre, Nubank, Uber, all these names were major Q4 loss leaders that people just took a tax loss harvesting in. And now you're seeing in January, all four of five of those names are showing a lot of strength. That's kind of why AMD is kind of catching a bit. I think it's more of that than an actual competitive advantage increase on what their like product actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the market open in about 6 minutes, so get ready for that bell. Bit of a nasty move there. We just tested kind of was that a 3 o'clock high for my Pacific Standard Time on NQ. And we made an equal low there for NQ ES holding higher lows, looking a bit stronger there, but definitely some hard rejection off those. Well, we hit basically highs from what was this last Sunday? I think I have these are about highs from last week, so something to watch out for here. I mean, things were looking really strong and good and everything, but hitting previous week highs like this, definitely got to be careful going into the open. I don't know how quick I'd be to just buy this dip, but we'll see. We'll see
I
if they
mean,
want to buy it back
I,
up.
I have somewhat confidence because I think,
I mean, you had a lot of strength, Shy, so I'm
I
not going
mean,
to be
yeah,
surprised if it does it. You know what I mean? Look at what
that's
this
for sure.
market's done. You know what I
I mean,
mean?
semiconductors are holding up well. So like
Yeah.
SMH is still up significantly. I think that really is the lifeblood of this market a bit. Where if semis are running, it's gonna be really difficult for the indices to pull back more. And not just that, like we had so many positive analyst notes this morning. Like there's so many names that are maintaining their strength even in this pre-market pullback because there's a lot of bullish notes out there this morning, like a ton. So I think that's why you're seeing Tesla up 3% because there's multiple notes calling out positive catalysts for 2025. You're seeing names like my favorite names, MongoDB and Snowflake, start laying on people's top picks for 2025 on the streets. I just think when TSM is up, was it TSM is up 5%? You're seeing ASML up 6%. You're seeing Micron even up 6%. Like Nvidia is teetering at 148. It feels like they're going to hit a new record all-time high this week, especially after Jensen's going to speak this afternoon at the CES events, Consumer Electronics event. It's the biggest one of the year. So like, I think market. I don't think market fades today. I really don't think so. I think all the pre-market notes and the semis running gave it a very high floor. Uh, it's interesting that I mean it's also low volume. Pre-market is very low volume. So like any kind of like commentary from the Fed, which I think what Jordan was just allocated to, that's probably what caused that rug pull a bit.
Yeah.
I could see getting bought up, but we'll see. The next 4 or 5 minutes is going to be really telling of what's going to happen. Like if Nvidia just goes red, like I'm watching for Nvidia. Nvidia is like again the tell, in my opinion, on what the market's going to do. If Nvidia gives up this plus 3% move pre-market, that's a no bueno.
Yeah. I agree. Keep an eye on things. If you're in
So
the chat and you want us to look at a ticker, feel free to throw it in chat.
Fubo's up
Take a look.
300%, over
Fubo.
200% this morning.
Yeah.
Let's see what they're at.
Forgot about that. Jeez, at $4 here.
I mean,
That is ridiculous.
I think this is a perfect scenario where not all heroes wear capes. Disney saved Fubo. This merger, like I think the mergers combining Hulu Live TV with Fubo. Fubo is never ever going to make money ever. It was not a real business. I was very advocate of that for years. Like it's a fake business. All the numbers are inflated. I was one of those participants where like I joined for a month. I for the free trial. I stopped. You just people don't stay on Fubo. It doesn't make sense, and their business economics reflect that. However, this merger essentially just gave them a massive lifeline. They're going to survive, but they're only going to own 30% of this merger with Hulu Live TV. So like that just shows you how dire the situation was for Fubo. But either way, I mean, I feel like this combination is giving a re-rating for the stock where the solvency risk maybe is a 90+%. It's much lower. And that re-rating could be very explosive, especially when the stock was getting priced for near-term bankruptcy and now it's like maybe a coin flip. That's going to be an explosive move on that re-rating. So it's also a short squeeze candidate. Like again, I was one of the people in the camp that it's not a real business. It's going to go to zero. It can't survive. Disney gave it a lifeline, and I think maybe a lot of the shorts are going to have to cover their positions because the situation isn't what it was this time last week. Their solvency risk did diminish, and now they have to kind of cover their shares, and you're seeing that short squeeze pre-market.
Ooh,
It's going to open
someone's
in 1 minute.
looking at Netflix too. Netflixico. I'm excited for Netflix earnings when that comes ripping right now. It's been in this consolidation though. It needs to get its legs going again, which I think it's going to be hard for it to do when it's ran so much. I would expect some sort of dip into earnings, especially if earnings are going to be good. I would expect some sort of kind of sell off before that, but we'll see.
Let's see what. I have a feeling TMDX it's breaking out. It's got really positive notes this morning. It's at $72, up 4%. It's 24% short. The shares are shorted. So,
All right, let's see what this market wants to do here.
wow,
NQ
everything's
bounced
just catching
back
a bit.
strong,
Yeah,
yeah,
everything's got
so
bouncing.
far. So far, things looking good. I'm interested to see if we want to take these highs and keep the momentum going and get back towards those. What is that? I guess Friday highs from the previous week, not last
Palantir is
week.
down 2%, so that's continuing. That's off.
So there is something down.
Yeah, there is something down.
Poor Palantir. Nvidia CEO is going to take a stage in Las Vegas. Yeah, there's that event later today. Ooh, a lot of momentum here. Back to those overnight highs on NQ. Keep my eye on Tesla as well. Tesla got that strong bounce out of those NFP levels I was talking about last week. I was looking for a retracement back into there, and they got that. Looking good off that. I would like to see a retest of previous day high today, and see if there's buyers sitting off Friday's highs. We did get a bit of a gap up, so I expect to maybe see a gap fill there.
What's the VIX at right now? I'm looking at. Oh wow, TMDX is up 6%. Knew it. It's gonna run. It's short. It's one of those short squeezes potentially. Wow. Quantum just went red. Let's see what else. Oh my god, Rock Lab might break 30 today. That's wild.
Oh, Rocket Lab, yeah. Haven't looked at that in a minute.
Let's see what Fubo's doing. Up 146. Oh, gave up that gain. Only up 146. Oh, boo. Wow, Micron's up 7% even. Jeez.
That wouldn't work. How's Coinbase? Looks like it wants to fill that gap. 270, 150 area. We'll see if there's some buyers sitting off that, but that could get some more downside. It looks like VIX is continuing down, still holding that $16 though. So you should expect just like a little bit of volatility still. You know, if you're trading futures, definitely lately. If you were trading futures in like when VIX was 12, 13, and you're normally trading, 5 or 10 contracts, you definitely got to size down when it starts picking up like that. So I would just be careful there. That ticker GUR finally coming in shy. That gorilla. That thing just kept ripping and ripping and ripping. I was like, what is going on here? But not even looking that bad, to be honest. It's within the range that it's made so far. So if you're longer, it's definitely taking a breather, but I wouldn't necessarily be freaking out about anything quite yet.
This is such a strong market. I'd be
Yeah.
bullish right now on this. This is holding up really strong.
Monday fun day.
You know what's interesting though? Salesforce got a massive downgrade this morning. Let's see what they're doing.
Really, CRM.
Let's see.
And I mean, it's getting a bounce,
Barely.
but nothing like the market, that's for sure.
I don't know. Agentic AI is going to change everything. And you would assume Salesforce would be one of the first names to really catch a bid off that because you're going to see that float into their fundamentals, especially with their presence in CRMs. So I'm surprised to see that downgrade from Guggenheim. I think it was from their firm on them to sell. I think it's more on the valuation, but I feel like Salesforce is one of those names where I can see a clear path of benefiting from agentic AI. Even though I'm very bearish in the CRM space, I think there's a tsunami that's going to be coming for software companies, an absolute tsunami, and this year is going to be the year of head fakes for the whole space because you're going to see AI getting reflected across the board for software companies, and everyone's going to tell like we're going to be one of the leaders of this AI space and software, blah blah blah, and then that tsunami is going to hit because products are going to get replicated at a rapid pace. CRM and DevOps, that industry within tech is going to be one that's highly vulnerable to just. Siri just went off on me. Scared me.
Siri
But yeah,
don't get it.
Siri got pissed. Salesforce is in my Siri or something. I don't know what that was.
That was
And
funny.
it was so funny because Siri was like, "I don't get it." That
Don't know what to tell you, Siri. Oh gosh, that's funny. Um, just to watch out, we do have Delta earnings this Friday. That's really the only exciting earnings, I guess. If you're excited about Walgreens, hype it up. Walgreens reporting as well, and Tilray. What'd you say Tilray makes now? Somebody said, or were we talking about it in the back room with the boys? I forget.
maybe backroom because Tor is just a cannabis company,
Yeah,
right?
I know, but like, they made something else. We mentioned it earlier. Forget. Made me laugh. Nvidia's still looking decently strong. Some top wicks off this 149 area. How's oil? Not doing much, as always. Oh, Coinbase. Filling that gap. Watch that 271 area if you are short Coinbase, because that's the previous day high and gap fill. But I could see this coming in more for sure. I could see us getting down to Friday's lows if we need to. That would make sense to me. How's Bitcoin? Yeah, coming in with everything a bit. Well, VIX is at a big spot here, just above 16 bucks. It's also Friday's low. We got a big bounce from here last week, so if we get flushing below this, you should see this market just keep ripping. But maybe we hold up here for a sec, let VIX bounce. Tesla not doing much. Getting some rejection coming back in. Looks kind of weak actually, even though it had the gap up. That gap up, I would like to see that gap filled to the downside. Because then we go retest that Friday high, and that'd be a better spot to potentially get long.
Wow, CrowdStrike just went. There's this growth tech just got a big sell off. I'm looking at software. Cloudflare's red, CrowdStrike's red, Snowflake is about to give up that move. Interesting development. Palantir's down 3%. Yeah, so software is somewhat selling off right now.
Microsoft and Apple are very strong.
Interesting. But yeah, large
The
cap
open.
tech is showing strength.
Yeah.
Hmm.
VIX kind of flushing through that low from Friday. So I'd expect this market just keep ripping for now. Let's see. My next big spot is, I mean, decently higher. Almost 22,000, 955. Obviously, there's going to be areas of rejection between that, but that's the next, big, real higher time frame level that I see us looking to target.
Oh my god, I'm so annoyed. I max out my fiance's IRA every year right away.
Yeah,
So like IRA. Did I say IRA? Oh my god, IRA.
IRA.
Some reason Robinhood it's taking longer than like right away. I did January 1st. I just send the funds. It's still not reflected in there. I was gonna buy her
Really?
150 shares of TMDX, and now it's TMDX is up 20% this year. So I'm like, oh
Oh,
my freaking god, Robinhood, what
that's
the hell?
weird. Usually doesn't take that long. Wait, do you have gold?
I do.
Robinhood gold?
Oh, she doesn't have gold. Ugh,
That
that's what
might
it
be it.
was.
That's why. That's why.
That's annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying. You should be able to like connect the account.
I know.
Gold should have like two other users, two like family users. That'd be nice.
I think they might have that feature. I should look into that
You
more,
should
but
look into
it's
that. They
either
might.
way, it's too late.
Yeah. Too late now. Well, NQ over all the overnight highs and lows, holding structure. We got a bit of a change in the structure there on that nasty candle, but they brought it right back up into the open, and things are floating higher. So until we see a real change in the structure, I think you got to play this long to the big targets we have on the hourly that I mentioned. But I usually don't do too much on Mondays, so we'll see. But I like the movement. I think we could definitely get a trade today, to be honest. Usually don't like to trade Mondays at all, but I like the volatility. Let's hope VIX holds up still. Not that I want the market to get a bunch of downside. I mean, even if we do, I don't care either way. It's just it'd be nice to keep some of that volatility. Every dollar that VIX flushes, the volatility just gets drained from the market, and you will notice it. You know, you won't be able to make as much with 2, 3, 4 contracts at all. So just keep an eye on that. We'll see where that goes. God, this market's pumping. Let her pump, Shy. You're getting what you want.
I am. I am. But damn, I'm still tilted about
TNDX.
this. Yeah, I'm still tilted about that.
Oh, it's
Because what?
looking good,
All right,
man.
so
Damn.
$7,000. Yeah, $1,400 I just missed out on. Motherfucker. I should have just paid for that $100 of gold
It's okay. You're
membership.
not even close to that daily gap yet. You're not even close. There's so much opportunity, Shy.
I know, but like, what's the gold membership for Robinhood? Like $100 a year. I just like I didn't
Yeah,
do that, and I missed out on 1,400.
I know.
I'm like, fuck.
The worst.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just. I think this is gonna be a really strong day for the market. It's holding up really strong strength. Software is pulling back a bit, but that's surprising to me. But maybe it's just large cap techs just are doing really well. I don't know. Maybe that's the driver of it.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have anything else, I'm all good. I'm just gonna be watching this market, see if we get any opportunities. It's light. It just seems like we're really getting continuation from Friday because Friday really
Mm-hmm.
brought that strength, and we're just kind of seeing continuation of that. How long that lasts, wish I knew. Wish I had a crystal ball and could tell you exactly how long it's gonna last, but I do not know. So that's why, big psychological levels like 900 on NQ, gonna want to watch that. Right. It's also like a big previous low that we had from December 27th. So I'd watch that, and then that big level I have at 955 as well. It's just the next big 4 hour highs that I see. So keep that on watch for NQ, QQQ, SPY. Everything you're watching applies to all of it there. So keep an eyes on that. And yeah, enjoy the day, guys. Trade safe. Follow your plan, of course. Don't go gambling, right? And trying to make this a business. In trading and investing, you gotta treat it like a business, right? So make sure you're following your plan and executing accordingly. And yeah, everybody have a great day. Shy, anything else?
Um, don't buy Fubo. Fubo,
Don't buy
not
food.
financial
Yeah,
advice, but don't buy Fubo. No, I mean,
I agree.
Brett's widening. Brett's widening a bit. You can see in small cap roll, it's semi showing strength. So like, today's a great day. I think we didn't violate any key levels on this pullback we experienced. So it feels like business as usual. And
Yeah.
build your cash position and build it up for those macro driven pullbacks because there will be some this year,
Yeah.
100%.
Have some dry powder. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Have a great day. We will see you bright and early in the morning.